Check out this headline, folks. Does a local pub's discount for men violate a woman's human rights? The Morrissey House in London, Ontario will offer men a 13% discount on lunch and dinner items on Mondays. You think women would suspect that this business or this pub is being a little bit discriminatory by charging women more than men to eat, dine, or drink at their establishment? Actually, I read that headline purposely with the genders reversed for the sheer fact to prove that most people, if the headline truly was, as I stated, people would be outraged and up in arms like, oh, what are you doing? That's so discriminatory against women. But in reality, the headline was exactly as I said, except the sexes are reversed. So this pub is discriminating against men, just like, what was that, like a restaurant or something that was down in Australia doing the same thing, right? All about this gender pay gap. But as we all know, I mean, anyone that's even taken the time to dig down into the data, we all come away with the true revelations of what this gender pay gap entails. And it's just the fact that women a lot of times go into different positions. They work less hours, right? They go into fields that pay less. They don't want to do the dirty jobs that pay more money. I mean, there's just so many. They get pregnant. They have children. They have to leave the work environment for years on end at times. So this big aggregate number where they conjure up this pay inequity scenario, it's all a culmination of just men seem to work a lot more in more dangerous occupations that are higher paid occupations in contrast to women. But that's an overarching, overall aggregate number. So what does that have to do with any individual case? None. And if you dig down into the data, you see that actually there is absolutely no discrepancy. If you go into any occupation and you're as competent as a fellow male employee doing the same job, performing the same services for the same amount of hours, you get paid the same amount. There is no discrepancy. There is no divide. It's all about personal choices. But these leftists, they want to keep hammering away this narrative that, oh, it's all discriminatory. So what they do is they actually do initiate real, genuine discriminatory practices to counter it. But meanwhile, like I say, they're pretending there's real discrimination when there's not, but they are actively using real discrimination. Shocking revelation, but some women actually care about propagating the species and caring for their offspring. How terrible, how disturbing, right? I'm very much thankful for these women. Personally, my wife is one of them. Now, she works now, and she's worked for many years in her life, but only of her choice. But when we had our kids and when they were young, yeah, goddamn right she stayed home, and it wasn't because Dad, me, said, you better stay home, woman, and make sure you're barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen. No, it was because she cared about the kids and she wanted to take care of them. No, she was a loving, caring, and compassionate mother. Oh, Lord forbid. But I'll tell you, if I look out in the landscape today and I compare my kids to a lot of these other kids that were raised by parents such as these feminazis and shit, or these SJW types, I'm very much appreciative of the fact that we did it our way, right? Trust me on that one. A London, Ontario pub's promotion that offers women a 13% discount as a nod to the wage gap has prompted a possible human rights complaint, the restaurant's owner says. Women who fancy the Manhattan clam chowder or Cobb turkey wrap at the Morrissey House will now get to enjoy lunch or dinner at a discount on Mondays. Its owner, Mark Saris' way of tackling the gender pay gap that has left Canadian women earning 87 cents an hour for every dollar made by men, according to Statistics Canada data. But the promotion, dubbed Mind the Gap, was hit by a complaint on Saturday from a London man adamant that the discount was discriminatory. Well, of course it is. You're offering a discount to one sex over the other for no other reason other than some false pretense or premise. I mean, of course it's discriminatory. Even without the false premise or pretense, it's discriminatory just by the very nature that you're giving one sex a benefit over the other. I mean, does that not meet the very description of being discriminatory? What kind of world do we live in today where that doesn't, right? Come on, peeps. The complainant vowed to lodge a formal gender discrimination complaint with the Ontario Human Rights Commission if Sarah didn't stop the discount offer. It's his right. If he feels wronged, then I applaud him for taking it to the OHRC, but I think he's taking it the wrong way, said Sarah. As a general rule of life, women should be paid equally. I think that's important. Is it worth my 13% on a Monday night? Absolutely. It is worth a conversation. Absolutely. I hope people embrace it. Anyways, this guy's going to find out eventually, but of course, think about the people that are in charge of, the government of Ontario and some of these human rights commissions, right? It's like, it might not work out so well for you especially when you stand in front of some of these boards or these tribunals, these SJW types. They might not be willing to completely be objective and universally consistent in their findings when it comes to this stuff. So, whether this guy wins this suit or if he follows through to it, I don't know. Like, that's up in the air, and we'll find out, I guess, in the future. But I wouldn't hold my breath. Hey, I wish you all the best. But at the very least, anyways, I'll post a link to this article in the description of the video below. But at the very least, it does point out, once again, another clear-cut example of this kind of hypocrisy from the SJW, the leftists. The ones that are all about being anti-discriminatory, yet all they seem to ever want to do is be completely discriminatory. What kind of fucking logic is that, folks, right? Right? I mean, I don't know what's running through the minds of these people on way too many prescription meds as far as I'm concerned. Or there's something definitely wrong there. Psychologically, mentally, environment. I don't know. I'm not a psychologist and I never played one on TV. But something's definitely wrong. Skinny Libertarian, and I love liberty.